So when I started, I had nothing. The first thing I did was, this is around January, like early January, maybe even the last day of December 2017, early 2018. I started my own closed Facebook group. And I do ask for three questions, and it's basically like, what are your goals? What would you like to get out of it? Are you accredited, sophisticated? Just a few basic questions, and then everyone gets in the group. I've never not allowed someone to enter, and it's not even the end of the year yet. And I'm literally, last time I checked, I was at 997 members in my closed Facebook group, and I started in less than a year ago, zero. And I wasn't like a known person in the industry who had 20 years of experience. It was just by opening the closed group. When someone would come in, the only thing I would say is, if you enjoy the content, please tell a friend. And that's it. And it wasn't forceful. It was just genuine. If you like this, please tell someone. And lo and behold, here we are at 1,000 or close to it. We'll be at over 1,000 before the end of the year. That was the first thing for me. It was free. And all it took was a little bit of elbow grease and me sharing some information. It started with a welcome. This is what the group's going to be about. And then I started adding article upon article upon article. I think that is a great way to start. And it didn't cost me anything but me putting my knowledge onto the platform. And then from there, I realized I'm limited to who sees this. Number one, it's closed because I want to keep it exclusive instead of just putting everything on my wall. And I said, but wait, I can use this across other platforms. And all I'm really doing is copying and pasting this article. So that caused me to start a blog on Bigger Pockets. And like you mentioned when we started, that blog has even won awards. So everything that's in my closed group goes to Bigger Pockets. And 9 times out of 10, I'll turn it into an article on LinkedIn. And then either from Bigger Pockets or LinkedIn, it gets tweeted. So that's four avenues off of one piece of content. Now, later on, I started thinking, what about spoken word and people hearing me? Wouldn't that be even better? So I'm not reading the article word for word, but it's in my head. So I know what I want to talk about. And that caused me to also start the podcast.
Nice. So you've given us a lot of nuggets there to think about, but tell me some systems, some ways to organize this. Cause that's a lot to think about. Okay. I'm going to write, just writing the article alone takes some time, right? Some thought. You got to sit down and make that happen, and then branching that out and making it happen on all those platforms.
Yeah. It could, but it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be a book or a chapter. It could literally be 250 to 500 words, maybe even 1,000. Well, because what I found actually is the shorter and more concise we can make the value that we're adding, the more likely it is to be digested and consumed. So if you can take a 2,000 word article and condense it into 500 or 250, people are more likely to read that. And the other thing, what I like about the podcast is when people are driving or laying down or whatever, running, exercising, they can always throw in the podcast. And again, shorter bursts and chunks of content are easier to digest. So don't think that you have to write a book. Think, what's one golden nugget that I can pump out and just start getting the content out there in about 250, 500 words, and you'll do fine. Sometimes, honestly, in my close Facebook group, it's simply a positive quote, maybe something Warren Buffett has said about investing or the tax benefits. And just that adds value, and it keeps people, kind of keeps people juiced and going and interested to come back and learn more about your content.